Welcome back to Hooton Park in Ellesmere Port for round 9 of the Indikart Plus Championship. The action is going to be coming at you thick and fast, but first we caught up with the championship leader in Junior Rotax, Tom Holden. Championship leader in the Junior Rotax class. It's been an interesting season for you, Tom. You missed the first round and you've missed 2 rounds in total, same as James Ollier, but you lead the championship by 1 point. But there's no leeway. You can't have a bad round, can you now?
No, not anymore. We missed the first round. We wanted to see how the championship was with the Indikart Plus and just the normal Indikart. So, yeah, we missed the first round. We had another bad round, so there's no leeway. We can't have another bad round. So,
this round and 1 more to go. It's yourself, James Ollier, Dan Whitfield still in the mix as well. He was leading the championship a few rounds ago. What's it going to take to get this job done?
Yes, on practice day I had some alright pace on the new chassis, but I'm going to have to improve a bit there. But obviously, as the time goes on, we'll get better with the kart as well. But we're going to have to be fast to win today.
Okay, and just for the viewers, how did you start karting? When did you start? Where did you start?
I started here, Hooton Park. I started when I was 10.
And you're how old now?
15.
Okay, well, it should be an interesting weekend. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Racing and more racing from this point on. Juniors Heat 1 up first. Finley Bucks on pole from Tom Holden, championship leader alongside. But the news is in the bottom half of the field, the top 10 on screen now, but from 11 to 20, we've got Dan Whitfield, third in the championship of P11, and look at P18. It's James Ollier, second in the championship, with his main opposition on the front row in Tom Holden. It's a long way back from there. However, we have seen him do it all before. Championship leader picked out for you on screen there. He's held on to second, has he? Looks like he's going to first. That's Oliver Lomax in the background. He's had contact with Dan Hartley. Both of them have been turned round in turn 1, and it's a long way back. Pick out your favourite drivers. It's still Finley Buck from Tom Holden. That's Kasper Vitorek running wide on the grass. He started P3, and he's down to what looks like 19th. What a disaster for Vitorek. They streamed through the S's for the first time. Buck, Holden, Eric Smith there in third. Adam Catling on the 7 karts in fourth. Sky Parker's in the mix as well. She's in 5th place. Then you've got Zane Quaker starting 10th. He's up to P6. Then we've got Hudson, Daniels, Barlow and Cameron rounding out the top 10 currently. Dan Whitfield is in 11th, started P11 for the man third in the championship. Where's Ollier? Here he is up the inside, making up another place. He went through the line in 15th, so started 18th, made up 3 on that opening tour, has just made up another one in Hooton Hairpin. Through the double apex, into the Wilson S's one more time. It's pretty much as you were last time. Into Stanlow Bend, the final bend on the track. Good to see Sky Parker here this weekend. She's a front runner at the National Championships, as indeed is the likes of Finley Buck. High quality indeed here at Hooton Park this weekend. Tom Holden sets the fastest lap, 36.795. Up to Hooton Hairpin one more time. That's Zane Quaker up the inside of Sky Parker. Looks like he's made that stick, has he? Yes, he has. And it looks like Parker may have lost another place as he went through the turn, coming out of the turn. That's Morgan Hudson, I think, that made his way past as well. George Daniels is in the mix. Good to see George up there. This is the best performance I think we've seen from George since we were filming earlier in the season. We've not been here since round 5. This is round 9 of 10. Somebody's getting a warning flag. Finley Buck sets the fastest lap as they go through the line that time. Oh, and that's Sam Kelbrick on the 88 kart. He's on the outside of the track, on the grass between turns 1 and 2. Didn't see any yellow flags waving. I can't see the marshal post from where I am. It's another place made up through Hooton Hairpin. Red suit, that's clearly Dan Whitfield on the 41 kart. You can spot him quite easily. White helmet, red suit, and that's James Ollier, second in the championship, making up another place on that lap through the last part of the double apex. So Whitfield there in the red suit with Ollier now a couple of places behind. Zane Quaker now sets the fastest lap as they go through the line. Quaker starting 10th, he's up to 5th, so it's Buck, Holden, Smith, Catling. That's the front 4. You can just make them out there, going through into the hairpin. So in 5th place is Quaker, then Hudson, Parker, Barlow, Daniels in 9th. And Dan Whitfield, who's now made up a place, he started P11, is up to 10th. This is lap 5 of 9 in the heats, 9-lap heats. I think it will be 12-lap finals later on, but we'll have a look. This is Buck leading it, and that is Sam McKelbrick trying to push his car away. There'll still be a yellow flag waving, so no overtaking. You can overtake from this point on the track, no doubt, but there will be yellow flags before turn 1 to indicate there's no overtaking between turns 1 and 2. You may have noticed Morgan Hudson sets the fastest lap, so fastest laps being shared around amongst the top drivers. Nobody sort of dominating every lap. Morgan Hudson now fastest man on track, but doesn't have track position. 6th place at the moment. You just about make him out as they come out of Stanlow one more time. Coming down over the start line, so the last man in that little group is Hudson. He was the fastest man on the track last time. Let's see who's the fastest this time. It is Zane Quaker again, 36.031, who is the man looking to move from 10th, trying to get himself onto the podium as Tom Holden goes through to the lead. So Tom Holden, championship leader, now out front with Finley Buck in second. Now Finley Buck is not a member, and he's only racing this weekend. There's a lot of the guys from the Ultimate R-Kart team. Great to see them here. They've brought, I think it's something like 8 drivers this weekend with them, and that's fantastic to see. Really appreciate that from Ben Hingley bringing the team here, and some of the best drivers in the country with him, including the man here now in second place. That is Finley Buck, as Morgan Hudson sets the fastest lap yet again. Holden now trying to hold on to that leader. Look at the battle in here, 2 abreast, 2 by 2s like Noah's Ark. They come through Hooton Hairpin. They all get through there cleanly, but any one of these 6 could end up taking this. But it's Holden, championship leader, who has the lead at the moment through the Wilson S's one more time. And here comes Eric Smith, and Eric Smith makes a fantastic clean move through Stanlow to take second place. They come through the line. It's Holden, Smith, Buck, Quaker, Hudson, Catling. Then you've got Sky Parker, Liam Barlow, Dan Whitfield still in the top 10 in 9th. James Ollier is up to 10th, started 18th, of course. The man second in the championship. Won't be happy with that, though. I think I said it was 9 laps this heat earlier in the piece. It's actually 12 laps, I beg your pardon. So we've still got to around about 3 laps and change to go. So Ollier with chance to get from 10th to possibly, can he get to sort of 6th or 7th? He would be very happy if he could. Tom Holden won't. He wants him to stay where he is, frankly, and be further down the grid for the final. You score championship points for your grid position, as Ollier now sets the fastest lap, 35.845, with some clean air to work with. You get 10 points if you get pole position for the final, down to 1 point for 10th, and in the final you score 20 points if you win, 2 points if you come 10th. You have to be in 10th, in the top 10, on the grid for the final to score championship points, and then in the top 10 in the final itself at the end of the race to score more championship points. If you're outside the top 10 in any of those scenarios, you don't score any championship points. And I do love that dynamic. We don't see enough of this in karting. In karting, generally, you score points wherever you finish. The fact that you could come outside the top 10, not score any points, can make massive differences to the championship. As up the inside for second is Finley Buck, and running wide on the grass is Eric Smith, and he's gone from second all the way down to, what's he gone down to? Oh, it must be at least 7th or 8th. Through the Wilson Asses for the penultimate time, it is Holden Buck. Quaker's now up to 3rd, starting 10th. Morgan Hudson is back in the mix in 4th place. Then comes Catling, Parker, Barlow, Whitfield and James Ollier now in 9th place. Made up a cheap one there with the demise of Eric Smith. We're into the last lap. Lost 9 places on the last lap. Eric Smith, as he's gone through the line, in 11th. Sky Parker looking up the inside of Adam Catling, and they tripped over each other in the background. In the hairpin, Catling 7 crashed in hairpin with kart 25. That is Sky Parker, and both of them out of the top 6. We're into the final bend for the final tour. It's been all action in this one. It's going to be Tom Holden that takes the win. Well, what a dramatic conclusion that is in the last lap. It's Holden from Buck, Quaker, Hudson in 4th. Liam Barlow's finished 5th from Dan Whitfield, James Ollier, George Daniels and Eric Smith. Rounding out the top 10 on track was Henry Cameron, and indeed, just looking at the official results there, you can see that that's the way it has finished. Zane Quaker then made up 7, Hudson made up 4, Barlow made up 7, Whitfield made up 5, And James Ollier, second in the championship, made up 11. What a dramatic kick-off to proceedings here at Hooton Park this weekend. Straight back to racing. It's the Senior Rotax class, the first heat of the weekend. It's Jack Hayes-Roberts on pole from Curtis Harding, Robbie Rathbone championship leader in 3. Then comes America, Ozanne, Stevens, Spencer, Boker, Pearson and Callum Kinder. Kinder is on used tyres. He's only qualified 10th of the 15 runners. But we know he's got the quality to come back from there. Josh Morris is on 11. Adamczyk comes next from Cerner. Mark Gilly and Ewan McQueen rounding out the 15 drivers in the Senior Rotax class. That is Robbie Rathbone pictured, starting P3. He's the championship leader. He's in P3. He's not in P3 for long. He's through to second already. Curtis Harding started P2. He's dropped back to third. So it's Hayes-Roberts, Harding and Rathbone as they come up to the hairpin. Paul Ozanne looks for a spot in the hairpin and makes it stick. Goes from 6th to 5th. Paul Ozanne on the gold chassis. That's Jack Hayes-Roberts. Race leader won finals at rounds 4, 5 and 7. And looking to make that 4, 5, 7 and 9 today. That is Paul Ozanne going through to 4th place. Round the outside it looked like. Through the double apex. Paul Ozanne, absolute top quality national championship winner and runner. You name it, he's done it in the past. He's the gold chassis dealer, I think, these days. And racing his own chassis just to show what it's capable of. And you can see in his hands it's capable of a lot. More places looking to be made up there in the hairpin. So it is Jack Hayes-Roberts that leads it from Robbie Rathbone. And then we've got Curtis Harding there. We're looking at the top 3. They come through the Wilson S's, in through Stanlow one more time. Named Stanlow because of the big oil refinery on the left-hand side. Paul Ozanne with a little bit of work to do, coming through in 4th place. He finished the second tour. Hayes-Roberts, Rathbone, Harding, Ozanne, America, Spencer, Morris, Stevens and Callum Kinder. That's the way they went through the line. So Kinder still there in 10th place. Kinder using old tyres this weekend. Used tyres, he's used them for a round before this one. A lot of the drivers in front of him will have new tyres on, so it's going to be an interesting test of used versus new. After my comments early in the season, let's see what Callum could do with used tyres. He's in 10th at the moment, so he hasn't got track position, but it'll be very interesting to see how they're running by the time we get to the final later on. Jack Hayes-Roberts sets the fastest lap once more, 36.216, and has a reasonably comfortable advantage, 2 to 3 kart lengths over Robbie Rathbone. Paul Ozanne getting a little bit closer, and if he gets close enough, he's the type of driver, when you're coaching drivers in karting, the coaching mantra is one opportunity, you go for it. Once he gets close enough, Paul Ozanne, you will see him make a move. Give him half a chance, he's going for it. All day long he's going for it. We'll see how it all pans out, perhaps later in the piece. Robbie Rathbone now sets the fastest lap, 35.951 as they go through the line on the end of the 4th lap. It was Hayes-Roberts, Rathbone, Harding, Ozanne, America. There's a place being made up. That was the 68 of Josh Morris on the 21 of Troy Spencer. Josh Morris now into the top 6, I think that is. As they come out of the double apex through the Wilson S's one more time. The 3 leaders well clear. So Paul Ozanne, certainly not close enough to throw one up the inside from where he is there in 4th place. A little bit of work, in fact a lot of work to do to catch those in front. Curtis Harding now in 3rd place, sets the fastest lap on that tour, 35.718 for Curtis Harding. Harding actually 5th in the championship coming into this weekend. It's worth pointing out that Robbie Rathbone can win the championship. There's another place being made up on Jay Pearson. That was Zach Bowker in the background there, going into Hooton Hairpin, making up the place to get into the top 10. He was followed by Mark Gilly, Adam Cerner and Ewan McQueen, who is unfortunately out. He was out on lap 2, Ewan McQueen, so we won't be seeing any of him, unfortunately. Just on the back of that group there was Callum Kinder on the Tony kart. He's pick him out in the orange and green helmet. He's actually 5th in the championship, chosen to use tyres that he has raced on in a previous meeting this weekend rather than using new. So we'll see how that pans out for him by the time we get to the final later in the day. He's currently 9th in this heat, but the positions for the grid for the final later in the day, we've got 2 heats. Your positions from those heats will determine your grid position for the final. And if you finish on pole for the final, that's 10 points, all the way down to 1 point if you finish 10th on the grid, and then 20 points for the win in the final, down to 2 points for 10th. And as I said earlier, anything outside the top 10 is a non-point scoring position. As we see, Jay Pearson must have made that place back on Zach Bowker, and Bowker making the spot back up yet again. Through the Wilson S's one more time, still Jack Hayes-Roberts, distinctive livery, the green and black livery of the JC Motorsport team. You'll see drivers across all the classes from that team. Paul Ozan now sets the fastest lap, 35.671. This is lap 9, or that was lap 9 of 12. So 3 to go. This is the battle for 10th. That's Jay Pearson again ahead of Zach Bowker. So these two really having a good day. Here comes Bowker looking up the inside but can't quite get it done. Jay Pearson comes all the way from the Isle of Man for each of these Hooton Park Indikart Plus rounds. Good to see him make that journey. I guess he's got to really, because there's not much competitive racing for Jay in the Isle of Man. To be fair though, it's a fairly short ferry trip from the Isle of Man to Liverpool, and then from Liverpool through the tunnel to Junction 6 on the M53. It's a fairly short trip for him, frankly. That's the battle for 5th we're looking at, and that is America from Morris, Spencer, Stevens and Kinder as they go through. And behind them we've got Pearson and Bowker, and then Mark Gilly in the background. Again, we're looking at the same battle for 5th place through the double apex up to the Wilson S's one more time, through the Wilson S's, then right-handed through the final turn, and they go through the line with 2 to go. 2 to go, fastest lap still set by Paul Ozan, 35.655, but he's not as close to the battle for the top 3 positions as he would like. As we're looking at it now, this is the battle for the lead. However, I think he has got slightly closer, but certainly not enough to impact them, unless, of course, they have a coming together. If these two have a coming together for 2nd and 3rd, then Paul Ozan would reap the reward, shall we say. They come out of the turn for the penultimate time. They'll get the last lap ball as they go across the line. It is still, as you were, Jack Hayes-Roberts from Robbie Rathbone, Curtis Harding. There goes Paul Ozan, and it's American Morris, Spencer, Stevens and Kinder in that group, and they were followed by Pearson and Bowker. But it looks like this is the way it's going to finish, unless Curtis Harding can put a move on the championship leader. Now, Curtis Harding will know that the championship leader, he can't get involved in any shenanigans. He just wants to win it this weekend. Curtis Harding could throw one up the inside, knowing that Robbie Rathbone, frankly, he's got to give it to him. He's got to give it to him. Big inside rear wheel left for Rathbone there. Suggests to me in these conditions he's not got the perfect setup on the car. If he did, he might have won that race. But they go through the line. Paul Ozan decides to make a quick departure, but it is Roberts from Rathbone, Harding, Ozan, American Morris, Spencer and Stevens is how they went through in the top 8. Then Kinder in 9th from Jay Pearson. Let's just have a look. That is the official result, and in fact, yes, that's exactly how they have finished. Just to point out that Josh Morris made up 5 places. He started P11, finished P6, and he was the prime mover in the top 10. Of those top 10 finishes, 1 place made up, 1 place lost, 2 places lost for Mackenzie Stevens. Won't be happy with that. In previous programmes this season, we've only brought you the finals for the Rotax 177 class for heavier weight drivers, but today we're bringing you all the heats in the finals. Ryan Walker on pole from William Jansfield, championship leader, Martin Ingham, Mark Lambert, Ian Prestwich, Roger Moore, Peter Abbott, David Blackhurst and Aaron Knight, rounding out the 9 drivers on the grid for this class. Now, there's only 9 of them, You don't want to go and make a cup of tea now, because anything can happen with these guys. They like getting their elbows out, let me tell you. That is the championship leader pictured, William Dransfield. He could potentially win the championship this weekend, potentially, if things go his way, but we'll have to wait and see. Looking down the inside of the race leader, trying to get a place. That's Dransfield. Oh, and Ingham and Moore have come together. Prestwich has spun it to take avoiding action, and Blackhurst has had to go round the outside on the grass. Here comes Moore trying to recover, runs into the 83 of Martin Ingham again. That is Martin Ingham pictured from Wigan, but the man getting out of the car is Roger Moore on the 45. I did say there's only 9 drivers in it, but you might not want to go and make a cup of tea, because this class, they're always getting their elbows out. Talk about getting their elbows out. That is the championship leader, Dransfield, down the inside of Mark Lambert on the 95 car. It's Ryan Walker on the 35 that's out front as they come towards us. In 4th spot there is Peter Abbott. Peter usually carries the onboard camera for us. Not sure we've got any from it in this race, certainly not so far anyway. But I know in later races we will be including some of his onboard action. Always brings us real high quality picture, and quite often a lot of drama too, as they come out to go through the line for the second tour. Fastest lap set by Dransfield now, 37.962. Can he close in on Ryan Walker out front? I think this is our first look at Ryan Walker this season in this class. We've not been back here filming since round 5. This is round 9. We've missed the middle of the season. We're just engaged to film the last 2 rounds, 9 and 10. But this is where the excitement's going to be as the season winds down. Having a good look there at Mark Lambert. Again, another high quality driver in this 177 field. Looking at the times, I should mention, by the way, we haven't got the names on screen for the time. We've got a problem with the timing at the moment, but we're hoping to recover that after these first heats are over. Martin Ingham's just gone through the line and set the fastest lap. So 37.355, there you go, for Martin Ingham, who was involved in that very early incident. The man in the green and black bodywork, David Blackhurst, who's recovering after going off in that incident. He's getting the blue flags, and going past him is Dransfield, getting in the way in the S's of Mark Lambert. Lambert will throw it up the inside. Willie doesn't actually give him the room. So Lambert there, as you can see, he's got past him in the end, but he's lost about 8 to 10 kart lengths. Ryan Walker now sets the fastest lap, 36.834, as he goes through the line that time, one more time. So they're pretty much spread out here after the incident in the hairpin on lap 1, which took care of 4 Knights of the field. In the background, you just make out what looked like Aaron Knight from Ian Prestwich and Martin Ingham. David Blackhurst there waves past Peter Abbott in 4th place. As they come through the S's this time, it's a bit of a ding-dong out front, isn't it, between the race leader, Ryan Walker, and William Dransfield in 2nd place as they go through the line. Laps are counting down. But there's 2 distinct battles on the track. You've got this battle for the lead, and then you've got a battle involving Aaron Knight, Ian Prestwich and Martin Ingham, which is out of shot of the camera at the moment because they are pretty much a lot further back. The man in the background there is Mark Lambert. Behind Mark Lambert is Aaron Knight. And we seem to have lost Peter Abbott. Peter Abbott is down a lap with a problem, I think. This is that battle I referred to. This is Aaron Knight in Prestwich, and Martin Ingham goes straight on all his own work. I'm not sure what happened there, but there is a bit of a divot out of the grassed area beyond the track surface. Martin Ingham, he's off through the double apex. Have another look. Nobody, obviously he's in 3rd place there. Well, he's just gone straight on over that little divot. We rejoin it, and this is the battle for the lead. Dransfield round the outside of Walker. Oh, contact between them. Contact, and Ryan Walker, race leader through the line into the last lap, has spun it, and he is out. He's not going to get it going again, I don't think. And that is the new leader there, so Ryan Walker. This is the contact. Well, interesting one. Interesting to see what the officials make of that. I've got a feeling they're going to look at that and think that's a racing incident, nothing more. And it's just 2 drivers into too small an area, doesn't mix, and the results show the officials have seen it that way. Mark Lambert takes the win. He'd have been laughing his socks off in his helmet when he saw those two coming together. William Dransfield, championship leader, holds on to second from Prestwich. Aaron Knight, Roger Moore finishes fifth in the end from Martin Ingham, despite his off. And David Blackhurst, the man who didn't finish, not listed there in the finishing results. That is the man there, Ryan Walker, still sitting in his car, reflecting on what happened, shaking his head, and well he might. The grid for Junior Rotax Heat 2 is based on the finishing positions from Heat 1. So it's Tom Holden on pole from Finley Buck, Zane Quaker on P3 from Morgan Hudson, then Leon Barlow, Dan Whitfield, James Ollier in 7th, George Daniels, Eric Smith and Henry Cameron. They round out the top 10. 11th to 20th look like this. Adam Catling from Jay Leverton, Vitarek, Greenland, Hartley, Oakes, Lomax, Murphy, Sky Parker and Archie Doherty. 19th and 20th, and on 21st it's Sam Kelbrick. We saw Kelbrick out of the race through between turns 1 and 2 last time. We got 4 carts coming together, well at least 2 of them taken, avoiding action at least, and Oliver Lomax is in collision with carts 75 and 63. 63 is Dan Hartley, that's who he was in contact with last time in the first heat. We've got carts all over the place here, 4 abreast. What's happening to Tom Holden? Liam Barlow was on the grass. Vitarek tries to go around the outside. I think Tom Holden's lost it. Oh, he must have lost 7 or 8 places on that opening tour. And, well, this is, for the championship positions, for the grid positions for the final, this is huge. We'll see where he is. His name should come up on the left. It's Quaker that sets the fastest lap. Where is Holden? He's got through the line in 8th place. Ollie is through in 5th. Morgan Hudson is down to 4th because Dan Whitfield in the red suit, there he is, made up a place on the opening tour. In fact, made up 2 places, started 5th. He's through to 3rd now. And Tom Holden down to 8th. It's all kicking off. Didn't quite see, it was just out of sight of the cameras. I think Holden got caught out on the outside going up to the hairpin, got hung out to dry around the hairpin, and as they came out of there, 3 or 4 abreast, down the return straight, down to the double apex, Holden's been caught out. He went through in 8th first time, he's still 8th now. Now Holden, of course, is the championship leader. Second in the championship is James Ollier, and you may have seen James Ollier going up the inside in this hairpin for 4th last time, as we see Finley Buck do it now. So Finley Buck back through to the lead. Zane Quaker there in 2nd. That's Whitfield 3rd. Ollier went through to 4th place in the hairpin last time. You may have just made him out in the background. And then it's Morgan Hudson, Eric Smith, Adam Cutling, Tom Holden in 8th, Vitarek and Barlow. So Holden will be looking at where Ollier is. Ollier can't see Holden now. He just knows he's overtaken him at some point. Carts come through the line. Holden is up to 7th. Vitarek, a little bit of movement there on the steering wheel. Fastest lap by James Ollier. 36.623 for the man in 4th place. Holden there is in, well, looks like 6th now. He's past Adam Catling, and we've got Eric Smith, Vitarek and Barlow battling hammer and tongs up through the hairpin. Here they are. Battle for 9th, Eric Smith's on to 21, 33 is Vitarek and 42 is Leon Barlow, 8th, 9th and 10th currently. They're rounding out the top 10. George Daniels went through in 11th last time. As the leaders go through once more, Buck, Quaker, Whitfield, Ollier, Hudson, Holden, Catling, Barlow, Smith, Vitarek rounds out the top 10. Then comes Daniels, Leverton, Cameron. Jasper Oakes is in there from Archie Doherty. Sky Parker's down in 16th. She's well out of position. Sam Kelbrick comes next from Oliver Lomax, Dan Hartley and Max Greenland. Is he still running? You'll see if his name lights up. If it doesn't, he's not. Tom Holden, championship leader, is now up to 6th place. He's chasing Morgan Hudson. This is the battle for, as it comes through the S's, it'll battle for 7th. Alan Catling on the 7 from Barlow, Smith. Vitarek's in the mix there. Daniels, Leverton, Cameron. Finley Buck now sets the fastest lap, 36.191. We're halfway through the race. 6 gone, 6 to go. To come up to Hooton Hairpin one more time. Looking up the inside is Ollier on Whitfield, is he? No, can't quite get it done. This is that battle for 3rd place, Whitfield and Ollier. And Ollier will want to make as many positions here to make sure he gets the best possible grid position for the final. Don't forget, The grid positions for the final: 10 points if you're on pole, 1 point if you're 10th, 1 point between the positions, and then for the final itself, 20 points for the win, 18, 16, 14, and so on and so forth. 30 points in total if you go from pole and win the races. Fastest lap now goes to Tom Holden. Holden now looking for another spot up the inside. Has he got that done? Looks like he has in the background, and I think he may have taken advantage there of the back marker, has he? I think he may have done. So Holden then, a little bit of contact between Ollier and Whitfield, but no damage done as they go through, or say they go through. It's James Ollier going through for third place. And Holden definitely looks like, is that Holden in fifth? It looks like it. We'll get the update on the names as they go through the line. It is Holden in fifth from Hudson, Catling, Barlow, Vitarek in ninth, and George Daniels now rounding out the top 10. Back up to Hooton Hairpin one more time. Finley Buck well clear as the 87 goes up the inside for another spot, and that is fourth place for Holden, and he is right behind his championship rival now. That is James Ollier in front of him on the 54. Whitfield third in the championship is now in fifth place with Holden up 2-4. So Holden will be happier with his lot now. He just had to keep his head. Obviously got caught out on that opening tour going up to the hairpin, lost a load of places, went through the line in 8th place after starting pole. Fastest lap now to Morgan Hudson. Hudson in 6th place on track, but the fastest man on track. But Holden will know, he's a sensible lad, he will know what the championship points are. He'll know that Finley Buck is not a player in the championship. He's only here as a guest this weekend. Zane Quaker is not a guest in, or not a player in the championship. He's a guest here this weekend racing. His position, you know, their positions make no difference at all. So the points for the grid positions, it will be advantage Holden as things stand, but the final could be absolutely fascinating as Vitarek now puts the fastest lap in. 36.014 for Kasauri Vitarek in 9th place on track, but fastest man on track. Whitfield now under pressure as well from what looks like that's Morgan Hudson in behind in the colours, and Hudson's been caught out and he's lost a load of places. He looks like, has he had a problem with the cart there? I'm not sure. He was on the grass. It's taking him time to recover. We'll see where he's dropped. He went through the line in 6th place last time. He's going to have lost a load of places. Here he goes, tumbling down. Where is he? He's in 12th place as he goes through the line. Fastest lap now to George Daniels. 35.925 to George Daniels in 9th place. The fastest lap's been shared throughout the field. Just shows you the quality we've got throughout the field. They may not have track position on these two particularly, first and second, but we've seen drivers in 9th, 10th, 6th with the fastest laps as the race has been counting down. Talk about counting down. We're into the last lap now. It's Buck and Quaker. Quaker will be looking for the win in this heat, but he knows it's all about the final. The trophies are divvied up in the final. It's not about what happens in this heat, quite frankly. Tom Holden set the fastest lap, by the way. He's now in 4th place for the fastest man on track. You don't get any points for the fastest lap, by the way. And the points you score in the heats are only to give you the grid position for the final. But where you sit in the grid position for the final will determine championship points. 10 points for pole, down to 1 point for 10th, as the starter's got the checker flag in his hand, and it goes out to Finley Buck with Zane Quaker in second from Ollier, Holden, Whitfield, and a close battle between Catling, Daniels, Barlow and Vitarek. This is how it finished in the top 10, and I can tell you after the race, in post-race scrutineering, Zane Quaker has been disqualified for a technical infringement, so it's Buck from Ollier and Holden, the championship leader in 3rd, second in championship 2nd, Whitfield, Catling, Daniels, Barlow, Vitarek, Leverton and Cameron round out the top 10. Finals coming up later, you don't want to miss it. Senior Rotax Heat 2, the grid positions on your screen now. They are the grid positions from the results of Heat 1 earlier. Jack Hayes-Roberts was the winner from Robbie Rathbone. Harding, Ozan, Merica, Morris, Spencer Stevens, Kinder and Jay Pearson rounding out the top 10 in the earlier heat. Rest of the grid, 15 in total. Looks like this. It is Zach Balker from Mark Gilley, on row 7. Adam Cerner, Ewan McQueen and Michael Adamczyk rounding out the grid. Here we go then. And that's the pole man. That is Jack Hayes-Roberts. He's been turned round, a little bit of contact. We'll have another look in slow motion in just a minute. I'm not sure. Looks like he was trying to create room for himself to go as wide as possible and didn't give a lot of room to the man on the outside, who was Robbie Rathbone. Let's have a look. So Rathbone on the right, Hayes-Roberts on the left, trying to give himself room, and just side-by-side contact. Welcome back to Hooton Park. You rejoin us at the start of the third tour, end of lap 2. You can see that Jack Hayes-Roberts is down in 15th place after that early contact going through the start line. I'm not sure what to make of it really. I don't think Robbie Rathbone had much room to work with there. I think it was just side-by-side contact, and in this case Jack Hayes-Roberts has come off worse, and certainly listened to the officials on the radio. I think that's the way they viewed it, a pure racing incident. This is the battle for 4th place. That's Louis Merricker, Troy Spencer and Josh Morris. 4th, 5th and 6th. The leaders going through. There's Rathbone, Harding and Ozan. Ozan sets the fastest lap, 35.042. Rounding out the top 10, we've got Mackenzie Stevens, Callan Kinder in 8th and Jay Pearson 9th, with Mark Gilley now up to 10th place. We come up to Hooton Hairpin one more time. Again, the battle for 4th, 5th and 6th. Raging, Merricker Spencer and Josh Morris. We're getting a good look at in this one through the double apex. On the return straight up to the Wilson S's. Here they come one more time. Sliding through the S's there was Louis Merricker. Looks like he's a little bit loose on the back end of that cart. Fastest lap again by Paul Ozan, 35.718. I said it before earlier on, didn't I, that if he gets close enough, he'll have a dive up the inside. He won't just sit there and wait. He's not quite close enough there, as you can see them going up into the hairpin. I'll tell you who is getting closer, and that's Mackenzie Stevens, a man in 7th place. So we've got 4, 5, 6 and 7. There you go. Mackenzie Stevens on the back of this little group now, but certainly close enough, if good enough, to have a go, and we know that he is. Robbie Rathbone, by the way, leading this heat, can win the championship this weekend if results go his way. And I'm expecting, if he ends up on pole or P2, 10 points for pole, 9 points for P2, and then he finishes first or second in the race, that will certainly be good enough. You had a quick look there at Mackenzie Stevens' information. The man from Lichfield in Staffordshire, now the fastest man on the track, as the 68 car of Josh Morris goes for a move on Troy Spencer, can't get it done, and taking advantage out of Hooton Hairpin down to the double apex is Mackenzie Stevens himself. So sets the fastest lap on the last lap and makes up a place on this one. That drops Josh Morris back one, so Mackenzie Stevens now moves into 6th. Morris is 7th, Callan Kinder still there in 8th from Pearson and Mark Gilley, rounding out the top 10. The leading 3 drivers, as you can see them just going through the picture. That's Rathbone from Harding and Ozan, and this is that battle as Mackenzie Stevens giving the think about it signal as Josh Morris tries to go up the inside of him to take that place back from him. Why wouldn't he? Mackenzie Stevens, by the way, 4th in the championship coming into this weekend. Jack Hayes-Roberts, who's now up a place to 14th at the back of the field. He is in 2nd place, but the way things are panning out here, this is not going to go the way he wanted this weekend. He's going to be down the grid in the final. Well, I'm saying down the grid, he could still be possibly on the front 2 rows, so he doesn't have to give up the ghost yet. He doesn't have to concede the title to Robbie Rathbone, but Rathbone going into that final race here today, if he does end up on the front row, he'll know exactly what he needs to do, and that will be to basically just look at the points. Yeah, it will be to finish in front of Jack Hayes-Roberts on the road in the final, and if he does that, that should be enough to secure Robbie the title. He's a high quality performer, very popular in the paddock, Robbie, easy to get on with, tries to help people as much as he possibly can. There's a lot of friendship in the paddock here at Hooton Park, which is unusual, let's be honest, for karting generally and kart drivers specifically. We're looking at the battle here for 10th place. This is Jack Hayes-Roberts on the recovery, up the inside of Mark Gilly on the 18 cart. The 88 cart makes his way past, and I think he's made up 2 places. That's for the 10th position, so he should be 10th when he goes through the line. Yeah, that is Jack Hayes-Roberts coming down to the line, and there you go, he's gone through the line in 10th. So Zach Bowker's made up a place on that lap as well. Mark Gilly dropped a couple. Adam Cerner and Michael Adamczyk in the mix as well. I think Ewan McQueen is gone. I think he's had an issue somewhere. With Jack Hayes-Roberts' result in the first heat, finished first obviously, even for 10th here, I think he will end up in probably something like P4 potentially. Last lap now as they go through the line, it is Rathbone, Harding and Ozan. America, Spencer, Stevens, Morris and Kinder, nothing between them. Don't forget Callum Kinder, by the way, he's on old tyres, Callum Kinder. Now, I did say at the beginning of the season, you can still be competitive on old tyres. There were people that slated me for making such a ridiculous comment. But I can tell you that the fastest man on the track at the moment is Jack Hayes-Roberts, 35.703, and Callum Kinder, 35.758. So what, 500ths of a second or so, something like that? As we see Robbie Rathbone taking the win in Heat 2, Curtis Harding through the second, Paul Ozan settles for third this time. Then comes Spencer, Stevens, Merrick and Morris Kinder, and then Jay Pearson and Jack Hayes-Roberts goes through the line. We'll get the confirmation of that on screen sometime very soon. Here it is. Not necessarily the most exciting race we've seen today so far, but the final still to come promises much. Robbie Rathbone, the winner from Harding, Ozan, Spencer, who made up 3 places. Mackenzie Stevens finished 5th, he made up 3 too. The big loser there, of course, Jack Hayes-Roberts, started on pole, early incident, loses 9 places in that race. Now, I did say earlier for the Rotax 177 class, now would not be a time to go and make the tee, and they didn't disappoint, did they? Lots of action on the opening tour, especially up in the hairpin, and then on the last lap, the grid looks like this. These are the finishing positions of the first race, and here we go again. What action will they deliver this time? We're on board with Peter Abbott on the 66 car, starting from the back of the field. Do they all get through here cleanly? They do. That's the 25, David Blackhurst. We dispatch him. We're behind Roger Moore now as they go up to Hooton Hairpin one more time. Fantastic pictures that Peter always delivers, and Roger Moore up the inside, and Peter goes with him as well. Aaron Knight it was who lost 2 places in the process. Had a quick look there, the information for William Dransfield as Martin Ingham tries to put a move on Ian Presswich. Nothing doing at this stage. It is Lambert that leads it then through the final turn for the first time. Dransfield there in second place, can win the championship this weekend if results go his way. Looking from Peter Abbott at Roger Moore, and he's clipped the inside curve with his rear wheel, and I think that has spun him round. We'll have to see if he carries on. He should recover that, I think. No real damage done as another place is made up on Peter, but not for long. He gets him on the switchback. That's Ryan Walker, the man who led the race into the last lap in Heat 1. If you remember, there was contact between him and Dransfield, and he ended up at the back of the field, off between turns 1 and 2. This is Martin Ingham up the back of Dransfield, and that has impacted Dransfield's race. We'll have another look. He just clips the rear end, just goes up his tyre. There he goes on his tyre. Now, has that punctured Dransfield's tyre? You see Dransfield split squirrely there, loses a place to Presswich in the process. Martin Ingham, as we rejoin it, down to 8th place. So Dransfield has dropped to 3rd. Presswich made his way by. This is the battle for the leads. That's Lambert in front. Dransfield up the inside of Presswich. Looks like he's going for it, and a lovely clean move. So Lambert from Dransfield and Presswich, but Presswich and Dransfield side by side. Dransfield's got the inside line. He'll hold on to it through the double apex. Presswich in 3rd place now. Ryan Walker has made his way back from the back of the field back up to 4th place. He'll be looking to get a decent grid position here, or better grid position than the back of the grid for the final to come later, because Walker knows he's got the pace to win this. He had the pace to win Heat 1 before the incident between himself and Dransfield here in 2nd place. And is Dransfield going to look up the inside and get away? He had a think about it, but nothing doing at this stage. But Walker in fourth currently, he knows, and there he is. Well, that's the sort of pace he's got because he's come from the back of the grid here in this heat. If he can get any sort of decent front two rows position for the final, Ryan Walker could be looking at a win here. And looking at his pace, he will know himself he's got the pace to win it. Marshall just ambles out of the way. The last lap ball goes out. He's picking up some rubbish off the track. Somebody's lost something. And here comes the change for the lead. And Dransfield takes it off Lambert on the last tour. And he's looking like to defend it. And here comes Prestwich up the inside. Prestwich goes second. Ryan Walker trying to go third. Dransfield's run away. He's on the grass. Oh my goodness. He's gone from first to fourth. Martin Ingham sets the fastest lap. It's Prestwich that's come through to take it. Ryan Walker is second, Lambert still there in third place, but Dransfield, what a disaster. I don't think anybody impacted him. I think he just ran wide onto the green stuff and lost places. Checkered flag for Prestwich, Walker and Lambert. Dransfield comes through to fourth place. Peter Abbott up to fifth in the end. He brought us some fantastic onboard action as usual. That is the official result. The only man not on there is Roger Moore. He DNF'd this time. The final for Junior Rotax about to get underway. These are the grid positions. Finley Buck from Tom Holden. James Ollier's in third. Daniel Whitfield fourth. Liam Barlow. George Daniels. We've got somebody spinning on the formation lap in the background. Morgan Hudson, Adam Catling, Henry Cameron and Jay Leverton round out the top 10. And we've got Kasauri Vicherek, Eric Smith, Jasper Oakes, Sky Parker, Max Greenland, Daniel Hartley, Oliver Lomax, Zane Quaker. Down in 18th place, Sam Kelbrick and Archie Doherty. Quaker finished second in a heat, but then was disqualified, of course. And that has meant he is further down the grid than he would like, or we would expect to see with somebody of his sort of speed. You can pick his cart out quite easily in the Lando Norris colours. Whether it's a Lando Norris chassis, I'm not quite sure. But we're underway and running anyway, up to the hairpin for the first time. Do they all get through there cleanly? I think they do. It is Buck that leads it. Down towards the double apex. That's Sky Parker on the green stuff. That's not where she wants to be. And that will severely impact her final. She's not going to do much from there, I don't think, with so many quick lads out front. She started the race, or went through the grid anyway. Went through the line in 13th place, as you can see. As they go through now, it's Buck, Holden, Ollier, Whitfield, Barlow, Daniels, Catling, Leverton, Cameron and Max Greenland, who rounds out the top 10. Zane Quaker is up to 11th. He's got it all to do from there. Let's see what he can do. Through the Hooton hairpin. So Finley Buck with a comfortable lead here. Now these are the two championship protagonists in second and third. That's Tom Holden, championship leader, in second. Behind him is James Ollier in third. Now the championship at the final round is going to be very interesting. Will James Ollier tie Tom Holden for points? Now if he finishes one place in front of Holden here, they will be tied on points. He's set the fastest lap as they go through the line. They'll be tied on points, but only if he can get in front of the man in second place currently. That's Tom Holden. Holden came into this round 1 point ahead. He's made an extra point for his grid position over James Ollier, who was 1 place behind. So he's now got a 2-point championship lead, but there's 2 points for each position you make up on track in the top 10. So if Ollier can overtake him, they will go into the final round next month. Don't miss that one, whatever happens. But they would go into the final round tied on points, and it would basically come down to an absolute barnstormer of a final round. 2 heats in the final. But if he can't get past Holden here, Holden will have a 4-point advantage. So it's either level. There's a 4-point swing here. There's 2 points for each position you make up. But effectively, because of the way things sit, there's a 4-point swing between coming third and coming second for James Ollier, assuming Ollier finishes 1 place in front of Holden. Of course, if Ollier can get past He may encourage Dan Whitfield to come with him and drop Holden back 2 places maybe. Still all to play for, but Holden now sets the fastest lap. The man from Helmshaw in Lancashire. He is the fastest man, but second on track currently. Battle for 5th we're looking at here. That's Liam Barlow from George Daniels and Adam Catling. Good to see George Daniels doing so well this weekend. He's made steady progress during the season as the season's gone on. And here we are at round 9, and he's doing fantastically well. 6th place currently, but what can he do from there? Now, can Tom Holden, of course, get past the man in front, Finley Buck, and drop James Ollier, or leave James Ollier where he is in 3rd place? Now, if he wins the race and Ollier only comes 3rd, that's a 4-point advantage. He'd have a 6-point advantage going into the final round. Now, I can't tell you how massive that would be, because he could literally sit behind James Ollier in each heat and the final, which would be enough to secure the championship for himself. Of course, not as easy as that. Doesn't always work out as simple as that, but that is effectively what he'd be able to do if he takes the lead and wins this race and Ollier comes 3rd. Now, if he goes for the lead, which he will do at some point here, we know he's got the pace, we know he'll go for the lead at some point, Ollier simply has to go with him. Ollier now sets the fastest lap, so he's the fastest man on track, but he hasn't got track position up to the hairpin. Holden looks like he's close enough, he is, he goes for it. Ollier's got to go with him, he does go with him. Has he got it? Battle for the lead is raging, and he does come out in 2nd place. James Ollier knew he couldn't allow Tom Holden to get the lead and just scoot off in the distance and get stuck behind Finley Buck. Now, Finley Buck, I will say this, high quality driver, racing for the Ultimate R race team, one of the top quality teams in British karting. He's here this weekend as a guest driver effectively. He's just come here to have some fun, bit of TV time. It will not be lost on Finley Buck who the main championship protagonists are, because that is what top quality drivers do. They know who the main players are. He's not here to impact anybody's championship. He just wants to win this race. And believe me, he's not going to sit there in 3rd place and think, yeah, I don't want to go up the inside and knock someone off. He wouldn't do that, but he's not sitting there in 3rd place either. He's going to go up the inside, make clean moves and go from 3rd to 1st if he possibly can, because that's why he's here. He's only here for one reason, to win on TV. Give himself some TV time that he can watch back in 20 years' time with his kids, grandkids, you name it. That's what Finley's here for. So here we go. Let's see what happens. This is Tom Holden, James Ollier and Finley Buck, and just behind them, Dan Whitfield, by the way, 3rd place in the championship. If these 3 start battling, Dan Whitfield will get closer, and that is exactly what he's hoping for. We come through the S's one more time. Wilson S's through Stanlow. Holden, Ollier, Buck. Ollier needs to get this lead. He wants to go to that final round with the championship points tied. And what a final round that would be. It's going to be a great final round anyway if there's 4 points between them. But if it was level on points, it'd be even better. And here comes Finley Buck up the inside of Ollier. Is he going to make it stick? Yes, he does. And again, as I said before, great clean move, clean driving by a great driver. And the dynamic is quite interesting now. Again, it sort of changes, because now you know, James Ollier knows he's going for the lead here, Finley Buck, at some point. He's not sitting in 2nd. He's not turned up at Hooton Park this weekend with Ultimate R to come 2nd. Let's be honest, that's not happening in Finley Buck's world as he sets the fastest lap. So Ollier knows that. He knows you're going for the lead at some point, and when you go for it, I need to go with you. They go past the back marker. That's good driving, good aware driving by the back marker as he gets out of the way. That was Archie Doherty, by the way, on the 51 car. He's obviously had a problem today. We know he's much quicker than that to get lapped by the leaders. But Archie, good awareness, gets out of the way. He's not quitting either. That's what I like to see. He's not quitting it. He's down there in 20th place. Got to use it as a test day now and learn as much as he can about the car. That was Zane Quaker just going through the shot. Just managed to see him in the Lando Norris colours. 3 laps remaining as they go through the line this time. Finley Buck is setting up the move for the lead. Is James Ollier close enough? I'm not sure he is. Here comes Buck for the lead. Ollier's got to go with him. He tries to go with him, but he's not got the momentum, and he's having to settle in behind Tom Holden. That was James Ollier's opportunity. He knew that Buck was going to go for the lead at some point. And of course, when he sees 3 laps to go, he's got to go for it. He doesn't want to leave it till there's 2 laps to go. Finley Buck, because he knows that Tom Holden could start defending then. It becomes a lot more difficult with 2 laps remaining now. So Buck leads, Holden, now again, same scenario. James Ollier's got to hang on to the back of Holden because he cannot allow Holden to go for the lead, get it, and let himself be stuck in third place. I'm not sure he's going to get an opportunity. Finley Buck will be defending here as he comes through the double apex for the penultimate time. This is the penultimate lap. They'll get the last lap board as they go through the line. This time the starter's got it in his hand as they come down the start-finish straight. And Finley Buck doesn't defend. He goes through the line. He's happy to just take his normal racing line, and this will suit him because Holden looks behind him. There you go. That was a little look behind him. Tom Holden aware of where Ollier is, and he knows I've just got to finish in front of him to give myself a 4-point advantage. He's having another look there. He's more interested in finishing second than he is in going for the move. He's not going to go for a move here on Finley Buck because if he did, it well went pear-shaped, could destroy his championship. He's just going to sit behind him. He's having a look, but he's not going to go for it. But that's the way it's going to finish. Finley Buck's happy with the win. Great win for Finley from a great driver. Holden and Ollier, second and third. Whitfield's through to fourth. Here comes George Daniels for fifth. Great result for George. Liam Barlow, Adam Catling, Zane Quaker up to eighth after his disappointing start. Jay Leverton was ninth, and these are the official results. Have a look. Henry Cameron, it is, that rounds out the top 10. Zane Quaker made up 10 places in that final, by the way. But look at that, the top 4 places were the exact same positions that they started. And that actually is quite unusual. We'll have a look at the championship points now. It is a 4-point championship lead for Tom Holden over James Ollier. Dan Whitfield, by the way, not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. I think Morgan Hudson is. I think that's fair to say. Too many people in front of him with too many points. The Senior Rotax final starting grid looks like this. It is Robbie Rathbone, championship leader, on pole from Curtis Harding. Paul Ozan in third, then Jack Hayes-Roberts second in the championship. He goes off P4. America Spencer, Morris, Stevens, Kinder on used tyres. I'll mention that again. And Jay Pearson rounding out the top 10 from Zach Balker, Mark Gilly, Alan Cerner, Michael Adamczyk and Ewan McQueen starting in 15th place. We're off and running. Is it clean this time? It just about is. Robbie Rathbone making a similar move that Jack Hayes-Roberts made at the start of the previous heat, and that's Michael Adamczyk off on the grass. The 7 kart crashed in turn 2. Will he get it going? Even if he does, there's no championship points if you finish outside the top 10. His name actually doesn't appear in the timing on the left of the screen, just the number. He's the invisible man, obviously. Jay Pearson you can make out there in the black and orange colours, very easy to spot. There he is, coming through the S's one more time. Now Robbie Rathbone, he can't actually, the way things sit at the moment, the way things sit with him leading and Jack Hayes-Roberts, he can't win a championship this month. Curtis Harding started pole running P2 currently. He would need Hayes-Roberts to DNF and score no points in this final to win the championship at this round now. That's Callum Kinder following Mark Gilly through the hairpin. Further back in the field, this is battle for 8th place this. So Gilly has it from Kinder, and then in behind them was the blue suit of Troy Spencer. He's an interesting character, not least because he led the championship after a couple of rounds. Then the officials realised he hadn't registered. They took all of his points off him, and even if he'd registered at that point, he couldn't get the championship points back. 10th place in this one so far, but he has been a final winner. We're looking at the leaders as you rejoin us. Jack Hayes-Roberts in third place on track. He's the fastest man on the track, 36.366 currently as he comes through the double apex. That's Rathbone that's leading it from Harding in second. Hayes-Roberts, Ozan, there's Louis Merica there in 5th place. Found a bit of a lonely furrow. Louis Merica well clear of the carts behind. And they include Mackenzie Stevens, Callan Kinder in 7th. Jay Pearson, Zach Balker and Adam Cerner rounding out the top 10 currently as they come up to Hooton Hairpin. We've got a back marker in front. That is in fact the 7 kart of the invisible man, Michael Adamczyk. See him in cinemas sometime soon. Jay Pearson there going through the picture, the man from the Isle of Man. This is the battle for the lead again to come through. Wilson S's one more time. Rathbone, Harding, Hayes Roberts, Nozan. Now Rathbone just wants to finish in front of Jack Hayes Roberts here today, just to give him an even bigger championship points lead. No dramas. This really shouldn't be any dramas the way things sit currently at the final round, but he can't win it at this round the way things sit. Jack Hayes Roberts would effectively need him to be wiped out maybe by Curtis Harding or whoever, and for him to go past and Rathbone to DNF'd in this final and score 0 points. And of course, as we've said before, only the top 10 score points. If you don't score any points, not least when you've already had 2 rounds that you haven't scored at, so they're your 2 drop rounds, you can drop your worst 2 rounds during the season. If you don't score any points, and let's say Rathbone was wiped out here, came outside the top 10, didn't score any points, that would be very interesting indeed. Going to the final round and up the inside is Curtis Harding, contact between them. Oh, and look at Jack Hayes Roberts, he's loving it, gives it the big one as he comes down the straight. He's happy with that. He'd be even happier if he saw Rathbone off the track. But anyway, he's got the lead, but it's Paul Ozan right in behind him. I did say earlier about Paul Ozan, watch him. If you give him one opportunity, he'll go for it. So Hayes Roberts from Ozan, Rathbone, Harding. Then comes Merricker, Stevens and Callum Kinder. They're battling over 5th, 6th and 7th. Although Merricker's got a little bit of a gap, has he? Well, not so much of it. It was a bigger gap earlier on. Here is that battle for 6th and 7th. And then in behind them, just in the background, was Jay Pearson, Zach Bowker and Adam Cerner, battling 8th, 9th and 10th. So, Jack Hayes Roberts, new race leader. This is going to trim the championship lead for Robbie Rathbone. And it's quite interesting, Jack Hayes Roberts almost celebrating there as he went past. And he'd have been celebrating even more if he'd have seen Curtis Harding going up the inside and the 2 of them spinning out, no doubt about it. But Hayes Roberts, it is that leads it at the moment. That's an extra, 4 points he's clawed back over Robbie Rathbone as things sit at the moment. But of course, if Paul Ozan goes for the lead and gets it, and Rathbone does finish 3rd, it's only a 2-point advantage. And we know that Robbie had a better grid position, 2-point advantage on the grid, I think it was, for this final as we go into the last lap now. So it would effectively be a 0 difference after this weekend compared to before the weekend. Last lap then, going up to Hooton Hairpin one more time. Jack Hayes Roberts from Paul Ozan in 2nd. We know, as I've said before, Paul is a high quality performer at national championship level, and give him half a chance. Give him a quarter of a chance, he'll go for it. It's going to be interesting. Will he go for it up? He's only going to get a chance here in the final turn. Not sure he's going to go for it. He does go for it. Oh, a little bit of contact between them. And Paul Ozan gets the lead. And I have to say, side-by-side contact. No damage done, apart from ego maybe. But Paul Ozan takes the win from Jack Hayes Roberts. Robbie Rathbone 2nd, so they'll end up going out of this round with the same championship points lead, or Robbie Rathbone will anyway, that he had at the start of the round. So Paul Ozan, officials did look at that incident in the final turn, they were happy. That was pure racing at its best, with Paul Ozan coming out on top from Jack Hayes Roberts, Robbie Rathbone, Curtis Harding, Louis Merricker, Callum Kinder on the old tyres finished 6th in the end. The championship standings now look like this in this class. It's a 17-point lead for Robbie Rathbone, so things would have to go seriously wrong for him at the final round for him not to win the championship, but it's not all over yet. The Rotax 177 boys are back. Elbows will be fully out if you've been watching the earlier heats. It's the first time we've showed all the heats and the final from this class during the season, but it's been entertaining to say the least in the earlier heats. Mark Lambert it is on pole. We're on board here with Peter Abbott. That's Martin Ingham picked out there on the 83 card. Oh, and contact with, it looks like his teammate. Peter Abbott's run into the back of them. Oh, that's Transfield and Mark Lambert. They've had it coming together in turn 2, and the championship leader is off. He's out of the car. He's dragging it back on there in the background. You can see him in turn 2 trying to get his car back on. If he doesn't get it going, he won't score any championship points in this final. Absolute drama here at the start. We've had drama in this class all the way through. Entertainment throughout. I hope you've enjoyed it. And it just goes to show that even in a grid with just 9 drivers in it, anything's possible. Now, as they go through the line now, it's Press Switch that leads it. Up the inside of David Blackhurst is our onboard cameraman, Peter Abbott. Let's have a look at the positions on the screen. So it's Press Switch that leads from Ryan Walker. Now, don't forget, Ryan Walker was the man who was involved in that incident with Dransfield earlier in the piece in Heat 1. And here he is, second on track at the moment. He knows he's got the pace to win this. So Walker will be happy right now. He was disappointed earlier on, but he's getting closer and closer to Press Switch in front. So close, in fact, I think he'll go for it in turn 1. Through the line they come. Walker in second currently, but not for long. David Blackhurst was 4th. He's just gone through in 5th. Peter Abbott's now 4th. Martin Ingham is in 6th. Mark Lambert's recovering. He's in 7th. Aaron Knight's in 8th. He was involved with Martin Ingham running into the back of him, the 2 teammates. And then William Dransfield, 9th place. Now that's 4 championship points, so long as he finishes, and he is running. He's just gone through the line there. See him in the background as his name lit up. So can he score more than 4 championship points? I'm not sure. He's going to come back from where he is there. He could have won the championship this weekend if it had all gone his way. It certainly hasn't all gone his way, but it is going the way of Ryan Walker now, as he's got the lead from Ian Presswich. So Walker from Presswich. Roger Moore there in 3rd place. He's probably thinking, well, what's happened to my day? It's suddenly turned into a podium finish potentially for me. Peter Abbott there in 4th. In 5th place, Martin Ingham, but up the inside is Mark Lambert. Lambert recovering, Ingham recovering. Both involved in incidents in turns 1 and 2. But that's the leader going through first 3. And Ryan Walker here after his first heat, where he was taken out between turn 1 and 2 on the last lap, is probably thinking, actually, this has turned into quite a good day for me. He goes through turn 2, up towards Hooton Hairpin one more time. The way the karts were spread out at this point meant there was only really one bit of action left to see, and that's Peter Abbott with Martin Ingham up the inside. That's Dransfield who's recovering, but he's still down in last place. We're back on board here with Peter Abbott. Martin Ingham makes his way through, picked out there for you, and that was the last of the action in this one. The result stood pretty much as you see on the left of the screen. Ryan Walker from Presswich just coming home ahead of Roger Moore, with Martin Ingham, then Peter Abbott in 5th. Mark Lambert would be 6th. And then in 7th place, it was David Blackhurst from Aaron Knight, involved in that incident through turn 1 at the start. And then William Dransfield, championship leader, ending up losing 6 places on the day. Mark Lambert lost 5. Making the most number of places was Roger Moore. He will have been very happy with his top 3 finish. Championship standings look like this. Well, a 16-point lead at this stage. It should be enough for William Dransfield. It should be. But if there's one class you can't take anything for granted, it's this one. An early spin for Buster Scott in the final of the Bambino class for the youngest drivers in karting, aged from 5, would rule him out of contention. Buster was making his first appearance on TV, as were several others in this race. It would go on to be dominated by the 2023 champion-elect Theo Jepson, going on to take a comfortable victory in the end. But Ethan Hume in 2nd place will keep him honest in the early stages, eventually finishing 2nd with Josh Sharples a creditable 3rd. Jack Stebbings, Logan Hodgetts and Harley Bebb rounded out the field, with Harley recovering late in the race from a spin in Stanlow Bend. Theo Jepson would go on to secure the title, and we look forward to seeing how he gets on next year when he moves upper class. The only other racing on track included our first look at the new Water Swift engine driven here by Luca Narroway. This proved to be too hot to handle for those with Micromax engines. In Micromax, it was Bray Williamson who secured the championship title, but we look forward to Layla Bell and Elsie Gannon battling for honours next year. That's all we have time for in this programme, but we're looking forward to a barn burner of a final round next month, not least for the Junior Rotax class, which is going to the wire, and the Rotax 177 boys will be at it again, no doubt, with elbows fully out. We'll see you again then.